Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Netflix has released a trailer from Louis C.K.'s upcoming stand-up special. The special is titled Ridiculous, which I feel like he's used it 5 times already, but I guess not. It'll be out on Netflix on June 30th. It's Louis' first special on Netflix in 9 years. You may recall that Scandal. Louis' last Netflix special was in 2017. Since then, he has released several albums and specials through his own website. He also won Best Comedy Album at the Grammys in 2022. That was his third. The other 2 were before the Scandals in 2012 and 2016. In May, Louis C.K. headlined a show at the Hollywood Bowl as part of the Netflix is a Joke Comedy Festival, and the streaming special was announced. Well, now it is here. During that show, C.K. told the audience that was my last show on the tour, last time telling those jokes, and I'm really happy I got to tell them to you. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to Netflix. I really appreciate the gig. And there is a trailer. Let's listen to it. I have edited out one F-bomb.
Yeah, my dad's 89, and he's in a home now. He's in a home. You know what that means, right? There's a pink plastic water pitcher in the room. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's in a home. My sisters and I put him in a home because he was too old to stop us from putting him in there. He was just too weak to resist being forced. So we went looking for a home to put our dad in, and we went on a tour, and not with him, but you don't bring him on the tour. No, his first time there is the day that it's the last place he'll ever go. You know what this place does? You know what they do? You give them money and they take your father. They go, this one, you go, yeah, and they take him. They just push him in a chair away from you. Just stay. You don't even have to wave. You just watch, and your father's like,
I didn't love that clip, and that's the clip you're choosing to put in the trailer. Maybe I'm sensitive because I had to put my mother in assisted living towards the end of her life, and I don't know. But maybe it's not funny. You tell me. Comments are open on Spotify and in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. The folks on the AV Club wrote, based on the material presented in the first clip, the actual content of the special is unlikely to garner the kind of controversy that has deservedly followed work from Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart's roast. At first glance, CK doesn't address any controversy. It looks like an attempt to return to business as usual in what Netflix's press material describes as a quintessential set that shows he's still a legend of the stand-up world. Louis C.K. Ridiculous out on June 30th. As I said the other day, he's probably the second best comedian of the 21st century. So it's a complicated situation. Now, the story that is amusing me this week is this Nate Bargatze thing. In case you missed it, Nate went to the UFC fight the other night. He got photographed with Robert F. Kennedy and Cheryl Hines. I believe the vice president is in the background of that. And people are like, is Nate Bargatze a supporter of the president of the United States? Now, Nate himself did not post a thing about the attendance. A source says Nate discussed his attendance with his team, knowing that his appearance would be interpreted as a political statement, but decided to attend anyway. We are told that Nate went because he's a big UFC fan, and the appearance was, quote, not political. I guess that's possible. At this point, I think the cover-up is worse than the crime, as they say. That's just a phrase I'm using. Don't read anything into that. But Nate Gate's getting a lot of pickup. Yahoo wrote about it. They quoted some Twitter users. One called the comedian MAGA Nate. That person said, I used to enjoy Nate Bargatze, but then I learned that he thinks fascism is funny. Another person wrote, I love that guy, and I generally don't do boycotts, but I'm done with him. I saw a lot of conversation on threads that people were done with Nate Bargatze. One person wrote, we have tickets to see Nate in July. Sold them back at half price this morning. I think just own it. Now, if you listen to the show every day, I try not to get too political. If you pay close attention to the spin I put on words, you can probably figure it out. But as I have said in the past, the President of the United States and I don't agree on all the issues. For example, this week, I don't want to send Iran $300 billion. But on the other hand, the President and I are aligned that NBC 1230 could be way better. Make 1230 great again. So, just own it. Now, interesting timing here. Nate's father, Steven, the magician comedian, he's got a special coming out Thursday. Maybe Nate is a master of promotion. Stephen Brighetti's debut Magic special will be on Nateland's Entertainment YouTube page at 2 p.m. Pacific on Thursday. Weird time to put that out. It's called Out in a Minute, taped at the Franklin Theater in Tennessee. Out in a Minute blends old-school illusions, quick-witted crowd work, and deeply personal stories from a lifetime in show business, from classic tricks he performed during his Opryland days to one final stunt his family wishes he'd retire. Stephen Bargatze turns the evening into a celebration of comedy, magic, and the wonderfully unique journey that helped shape the Bargatze family on their way to attending the UFC event on the White House lawn. Jon Stewart commented on the UFC fight and said, Sunday night gave the president and his acolytes an opportunity to rebut the joyous communion of teamwork that embodied the New York Knickerbockers for a joyless, Vegas-style trudge through the people's house and now transformed into a gold-plated pummeling center. Stewart said, what a god-awful mockery of an event that somehow managed to find a way to devalue both combat sports and our national dignity. Who even aired this embarrassing stuff? The answer there is Paramount Plus, who's his boss. Stewart said, once again, the leaders of Paramount Plus providing us all with incredible content at reasonable prices. I am proud to stand with the Paramount family in whatever shows they decide to either cancel or put on. Did you see this thing with the San Francisco Giants? They had Pride Night the other night, and some players wrote some biblical messages on their Pride hats. Rob Schneider has entered the discussion because, of course, he did. Rob posted on Twitter, I will pay the fines for any MLB Christian player who wears a Bible verse on their uniform. MLB is anti-Christian. The San Francisco Giants said they are proud to support Pride Night and the LGBTQ plus community. We also respect that individuals may make personal choices about participating in team activations. We understand the choices by individual players has caused pain and anger to many in the LGBTQ plus community, and we are sorry for that. Also out of San Francisco, comedian Ahmed Ahmed was arrested last year at San Francisco International Airport during a dispute with airline staff. He says he was assaulted by deputies at San Mateo County Jail, according to a lawsuit filed Monday in federal court. Ahmed Ahmed is suing the San Mateo County Sheriff's Department for assault, battery, negligence, and other allegations. As the story goes, after missing a flight connection when returning to the U.S. from a work trip in Thailand, Ahmed and other frustrated passengers got into an argument with the United Airlines representative in the early morning hours at SFO. He was sent to a hotel with no available rooms. He returned to the service desk around 1 a.m., exhausted, frustrated, and in need of help. The complaint said the agent was dismissive. From there, Ahmed apparently demanded assistance. The employee called San Francisco Airport Police, saying Ahmed was being disorderly. Police arrested him and transported him to the jail. Ahmed said he sustained a broken wrist, elbow, and rib, as well as bruises and lacerations from being punched, kicked, and beaten by deputies. According to the complaint, he was then strapped to a chair in an isolation room with a hood over his head. The complaint also suggests that deputies tried to remove his pants. Ahmed, in a statement, said, I've spent my life trying to bring people together through laughter, but what those officers did broke something in me. I was scared for my life. They tortured, humiliated, beat, and injured me. The trauma has scarred me physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. I was released without being charged with any crime because I didn't do anything wrong. Wow, just serious all the way around there. We'll keep an eye on that story and awkwardly go to a commercial break. All right, the rest of the show is pretty much a victory lap for the world champion New York Knicks. If that doesn't interest you, especially through the lens of Jimmy Fallon, you are excused, and I'll see you tomorrow. But for everybody else, Tracy Morgan says he doesn't have a favorite New York Knicks player, but has crowned MVP Jalen Brunson the king of New York. Tracy Morgan told the Post, I can't pick anyone out because everyone had a part in it. The coaching staff, everyone had a part in it, so I won't do that. I won't single anyone out, but Brunson is the king of New York right now. The people have spoken. The New York Knicks were the guests on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Now, normally, I defend Jimmy Fallon, but this first thing I'm going to play for you is so lame. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. Jimmy, who is this for?
Game 1 in Texas. New York brought it, y'all. Brunson put up 30 points, then shouted, yeehaw! Game 2, much closer, gave fans a heart attack. Thank God Wemby passed the ball into his teammates' backs. Game 3, in New York, MSG was packed. New York City took an L while one guy took a nap. Game 4, historic, down by 29. It's the reason I now have an Ananobi shrine. Game 5, the Spurs were leading at the start, but we believed because we all have heart. And Bridges and Cat, they all played really great. So now we'll all get turned at the parade. New York Knicks, what a run, starting 5, so much fun. Here's to you, time to cheer. How about same time next year?
I mean, that was so bad, that makes me want to listen to Nikki Glaser sing. But by the way, I did myself in. I woke up in the middle of the night, last night actually, with the Nikki Glaser song stuck in my head. So as much as I'm trying to torture you, I wound up torturing myself. Just share the show. Anyway, fortunately, the actual Knicks came out. Here's their introduction. I have scoped this down for pacing.
You feel the love! Wow. MVP right here. Come on, oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being here. And thank you for bringing a championship to New York.
On the couch with Jimmy Fallon, it's Coach Mike Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, you know him as Cat, and the captain, Jalen Brunson. Jimmy Fallon loses control of his own show for a little bit before asking Jalen Brunson about his pregame music routine.
Jalen, you scored 45 points in a championship-winning game. Yes. But Michael, can't talk. All right, I can't talk. Michael Jordan is the only other player in history to do that. What does it feel like when you go down the street or you see this billboard in New York City of Clyde Frazier passing the ball to Jalen Brunson?
That's great.
Is that cool?
That's crazy.
It's pretty cool, right?
That's really cool. I mean, being able to know him and talk to him over the last couple of years, you just see the joy he has watching us, and just very thankful for the relationship we have. He means a lot to this community, the Knicks community, and us, and just he's a pleasure to be around.
Yeah, he's always there for you guys.
Yeah.
And we talked before when you were on the show, before the game, you told me you listen to Justin Bieber. And I was wondering if that's still the case. And during the playoffs, do you switch up the playlist, or is it still Bieber?
Before the games, I switch it up every now and then. But right after Mike does his pregame talk, has to be Bieber right before I run out.
I love that. You're loyal.
I can verify this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You gotta get it. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I can verify it.
Speaking of music, you may have noticed Coach Mike Brown singing Who Let the Dogs Out during the ceremonies after the Knicks won the championship. Mike Brown tells the story.
Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men. What is that song?
We got to put that to bed.
Yeah.
We got to put that to bed.
Where did that come from? Was that something you...
This is a story. So I got 2 boys.
You know what? We need the story as well. Actually.
Yeah.
We both need to hear this.
I was an assistant in San Antonio many moons ago. The reporter that asked me that question, he said, "What did you learn during your time here when you coached the 7-year-old Dogs flag football team?" And so I said, I learned to cheer, because we used to have all the parents come into the huddle, all the kids come into the huddle before every game. Everybody put their hands in, right? All right, we're gonna practice it. Everybody do this, put your hands in, and then I'd go 1, 2, 3. I'd go, "Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave.
Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave. You have to stay here. Don't leave. They're about to walk out. They're about to walk out. Stop doing it.
No, I won't do it anymore. So,
about to walk out.
After that day, I'm going back to the hotel. I'm thinking everything is good, right? Okay.
Hell no.
And the players walk off the bus first. Every one of them that walked by me tapped me on my shoulder and killed. He was the toughest on me. They killed me. But I will say one player on our team.
Yes.
He tapped my back, rubbed my shoulder. He looked down at me, gave me just a sorry felt look.
Yeah.
And he said, "Don't worry about it, Coach." It was Mikal Bridges.
See?
Mikal
He stuck up for you. He got your back.
Yes,
He got your back.
Mikal Bridges.
Can we talk about how he just compared me at 30 to a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
And by the way, on that last voice you heard there, that's Cat. You can just tell he's got quote unquote it. Jalen Brunson's a little tight still with the media, but Cat's a natural. Pay attention to that. On Jimmy Kimmel Live, Jimmy Kimmel called it the best 5-game NBA final series ever. He then rattled off all the post-game 5 stabbings, injuries, and arrests in the aftermath of the Knicks win. Yeah, some idiots in New York don't know how to behave. Kimmel joked that people worried that Mayor Mamdani was going to destroy New York. No one would have guessed it would be fans of the Knicks. Kimmel then showed some clips of Knicks fans getting rowdy, including destroying school buses and putting Elmo's head on a spike. I'll come back to that. Kimmel said, "You know you're in a festive mood when you set fire to a school bus and nobody has a problem at all." So the Elmo thing was pretty funny. The Elmo social media account posted something like, let's have a good game, rooting for both sides. And people pointed out that Sesame Street takes place in New York City and called Elmo a traitor. It was very, very funny reading the reactions to Elmo trying to both sides the NBA Finals. No, you're from New York. You're a Knicks fan, Elmo. Seth Meyers still has a show at 12:30 for some reason. He dedicated his Closer Look segment to the Knicks. He said, "I don't know where you're watching tonight, but wherever you are, I guarantee it's not as much fun as New York City is right now." That is true. New York City is a lot of fun right now. No offense, but New York City is currently a cross between Mardi Gras, Coachella, and the rave from The Matrix. We got Knicks in 5, World Cup fever, the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We got block parties, watch parties. We even got guys balancing trash cans on their heads. It all feels bigger than sports. If you're in New York City right now, whether you live here or you're just visiting, you could jump on the F train and at any moment be surrounded by people in Knicks gear or Brazil gear or Morocco gear or even Mets gear. And if you're from abroad and you don't know what the Mets logo is, it's the one on the hats of the sad people. Wow, Seth Meyers actually made me laugh. I should just wrap up the show now, but I have to tell you about New York Laughs is happening in New York City tonight, and it's pretty cool. New York Laughs is a comedy arts nonprofit that does world-class stand-up in public spaces. Tonight, James Austin Johnson is your headliner, joined by Jordan Fisher, Charlene Kay, and Olivia Carter. Lineups are subject to change, but you'll find this at Lincoln Center tonight. Free. Limited advance tickets are free. Seating is first come, first served. So what you want to Google there is NY Laughs, one word, and that is your comedy news for today. Don't forget, follow the show on Spotify or I'll play Nikki Glazer singing. Turn notifications on so you never miss a show. You can also comment in the Facebook group, Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. See you tomorrow.